So FM25 isn't coming out anytime soon, and I guess it's taking its toll. I think I've gone slightly insane, and it's perfectly exemplified by this particular signing on my FM24 save.
Hello there.
Yep. Just to give a brief overview of what is going on here, what you see on the screen is my pretty amazing and totally not overpowered FM24 save with Partizan that I have finished just before going on holiday to prepare myself for the new Football Manager that was definitely gonna come out in November. Yeah, this was my exact expression when I heard the news as I was sitting about 1,000,000 miles away from my recording setup. So, let's do a quick quiz. What did I, an aspiring YouTuber and football coach extraordinaire, do in response to this groundbreaking news? Did I A, record a cleverly worded critique on SI on my trusty old Nokia? B, come up with a game-changing content plan that will blow everyone away? C, pre-order the game anyways, because what else am I gonna do? I'm into deep now. Or D, all of the above perhaps? Well, my clever viewers, I did the one thing that maximized the impact of the YouTube algorithm. I did nothing. So anyways, to beat a dead horse more, SI bad, hire more people, and please, for the love of God, don't release yearly. That being said though, if you did want to catch up on the amazing save that over the course of 8 years had, oh well, that's a lot of trophies, and not even exaggerating, we didn't have a single league loss. So go check out my whole save on my channel. It would only take you about 50 hours? I think that's better than Netflix, huh? So in this 2 short-part series, I will be managing Partizan through its 2 stages of its life cycle. So stage 1 will be my last dance at the club, where I complete 1 more year and then take over as the director of football. And stage 2, where I give up on all of that and just sim into the future to see how badly my club gets destroyed by the A. Yeah, I love that part. So buckle up and let's get ready to, well, absolutely destroy the wage budget structure of the entire Serbian Super League. We left the previous season slightly underperforming with an uninspired Champions League win. Erling Haaland has only scored 51 goals, and without him the team provided a meager 163 goals across all competitions. Quite pitiful really. To address this and to avoid the taxman asking me silly questions like, how can you afford a £200 million island when you only earn 3.2k per week? I came up with an incredibly genius scheme. I signed a guy that Real Madrid got on a free this season for 215 million. But don't you worry, we still have about 357 million left in the bank. So maybe I can fund a small indie dev project like Concord, Sony, call me. Now you may be asking yourselves, with a front line consisting of Erling Haaland, Milovanovic, Estevao, Deans, and of course the channel legend Saldana, where the hell am I gonna play Mbappe? Unlike my role model both in coaching and style, what? I don't want a suit. I have come up with a perfect solution that utilizes his strong sides. And that position is... right mid?
What the fuck is going on here?
But it seemed to work as we went a whole season unbeaten, conceding only 33 goals and scoring like a bazillion in the process. This culminated in the largest trophy haul of the save as we managed to win a whopping 4 trophies. The Serbian Super League, the Serbian Super Cup, the UEFA Super Cup, and finally, the big old ears herself, the Champions League trophy. Our 3rd Champions League trophy comes at the expense of a very good Chelsea side that has taken one of our legendary strikers last season. They also have a Sam Allardyce regen managing them. Say hello to Marley Handy, a man so good he considers Pep Guardiola to be his only friend. The wonderfully defensive and yet somehow technically minded coach is known for his creative and totally innovative 4-4-2 formation.
Good morning, Glenn!
Which has led him to great heights such as winning League One with Wigan, getting relegated with Coventry, existing as a manager in Real Sociedad, and finally, actually that's not bad, he actually won the Premier League and Community Shield with Chelsea, so better than me. So when the unstoppable force of Haaland, Milovanovic and Mbappe met the immovable rock of Fofana, James and Schlotterberg, turns out that rock was quite movable in the end. and Erling Haaland did all the heavy lifting. But to be fair, not many teams could stand in our way, as we easily topped our group with 22 points and then proceeded to batter teams in the knockout stages. Bayern was dispatched 8-3 on aggregate, Barcelona moved out of the way with a 3-2 win, PSG was just totally ignored in the semi-final with a 5-2 scoreline, and finally, a 4-1 victory against my favorite team secured us a back-to-back Champions League trophy. And yet that wasn't enough for our beautiful board to build and name a stadium after me. I wonder what it will take. However, as time went on, I felt like enough was enough. After 495 games in charge with 431 victories and a whopping 1,656 goals scored, plus a few trophies here and there, it was time to give someone younger and better than me a shot at management. And of course, that man is my ass man, Rodrigo Diaz. My job now is to leave all the managing and coaching to this Brazilian mad lad as I ascend into a higher plane of existence. From now on, I will be spoken about in the same breath as such legends like Ed Woodward and Edu. Wait, what do you mean he left Arsenal? My first task was to deal with the bloated squad that was left over to me by some previous idiot. Oh, hang on. Now that's just mean, who managed to accumulate over 45 first team players. But don't you worry, managing a big squad is not something that Rodrigo will have to worry about a lot, right? So in my first season as a director of football, I'll be honest, I didn't do much at all. I had a very calm and relaxing summer where all I had to do was sell or loan out over 30 freaking players. Everyone wanted to leave to bigger teams despite us being the best team in the world and having the two greatest players of our generation playing for us. So with that in mind, everyone who wasn't with us was against us and the purge began. We made over 320 million in the transfer window and we saw long-term players like Gilson, Benzinger, Benty and Marco leave the club for a very hefty profit. They were all very good players and all will have amazing careers down the line, but with pretty much everyone being a 5-star current ability player, we needed to cut down the numbers by like a lot. The only signing that I managed to orchestrate that summer, because I was too busy selling everyone, was to bring back a kid who started with us ages ago and has developed into a £93 million player. David Palacios returned to the club as a hero, having won, well, absolutely nothing in 3 years at Dortmund, but at least he came back as an elite centre-back. Yay development. This left the squad with 30 first team players, which, as it turns out, is still way too much for the assistant to handle. And now the big question is, will this be enough for my ass man to take this beautiful side and win anything? And of course, the answer is, oh my god, of course it was enough. This man has gone and copied his teacher and gone a full season unbeaten, which culminated in a 4th Champions League trophy as Mbappe destroyed his old side, PSG. Once again, Partizan has collected 4 trophies, beating Tottenham on penalties in the UEFA Super Cup as the new keeper Bazunu held down the fort with 2 penalty saves, and there was also a very epic Serbian Super Cup win against TSC. However, this was also the season where we were forced to say goodbye to a club legend, as he wanted to move so he could get more game time. Yeah, spoiler alert, he did not get that much game time. Saldanha has left the club a hero as he cemented himself as a club legend and a certified mad lad, becoming the club's top goal scorer and leaving with a whopping 22 winners' medals on his chest. If you ever want to get a cheap striker that will be an absolute legend for you, he is that man. Right, this video is getting way too long, so let's just jump into season 2 as I once again spend my whole summer wheeling and dealing to maximize our club's financial future. This summer was a bit quieter in terms of the ins and outs as we started running out of players to sell. We only had 2 major sales as Lukeba thought that enough is enough and he wanted to earn more money instead of winning trophies, as he pushed for a move to Al Ahly just 4 years after being signed for 96 million, which made him the world's most expensive centre-back. However, in my infinite brilliance and wisdom, I had come up with a genius idea. What if I replace a departing centre-back with another, and get this, another world-class winger? That's pretty clever, don't you think? If we're always attacking, we don't have to defend. Big brain move, huh? So in comes a 32-year-old Khvicha Kvaratskhelia for 47 million as he contributed 30 goal contributions. I had no idea how my assistant manager managed to fit all these wingers into one side, and that's basically with me selling 2 world-class wingers and Marco Toplak for a cheeky 70 million to Paris Saint-Germain and Fabian Rodallega for 60 million to Real Madrid. That being said, Esteval wasn't used at all this year, and he looks like this. Yep. This year, the cracks are starting to show as we actually lost 4 times in the Champions League this year with a difficult draw against Valencia, almost knocking us out in the round of 16. Well, that would have been embarrassing. But the real question is, was that enough to finally dethrone us as the best team in Europe? Of course not, lol. Who do you think we are? We completely FM'd Real Madrid in Kiev as Lachlan Dean scored the only goal of the game and Lucas Gabriel got a man of the match performance for keeping us in it. Right. The time has come for the final season before I leave the reins of the club to someone else and we inevitably tumble down European rankings as we sell everyone for a quick profit and then also proceed to lose that money because we buy overpriced players that we then sell for less money. Yay! Can't wait. And if you are interested in that, hit a like button, subscribe to my channel, and you get to see that in probably the next video in about 2 million years. But I wouldn't be the best director of football that has ever directed football. What does that mean? If I didn't try and secure the future by making sure that we have a replacement for Erling Haaland and Mbappe. But of course, we went out and looked for a world-class regen to take over these 2 amazing players. And we went to an obvious place where you would go looking for wonder kids. Buncrana, Ireland. And with a population of 6,971, it didn't take us very long to find exactly who we were looking for. Stephen McLaughlin. Oh my god, he looks absolutely incredible. He is probably the best player I've ever seen in FM, and I have played with Lockie Deans for the past 10 years. He is so good in fact that my assistant manager even played him at left back at some point for whatever reason. I mean, he's actually not a bad looking wingback on attack, so he's probably better than some of our other wingbacks, but definitely not his strongest position. And he was also a very cheap signing and only set us back 257 million? I mean, I guess that's another world record we set. To summarize this season, we finally lost a game in the league? What? How? Sack Rodrigo, this is atrocious! The mighty Radnički 1923 has stopped the clear underdogs after FMing their way to the craziest win in history of Football Manager. And I mean, just look at this game. They had 2 shots on target versus at least like a million from our side. Absolutely unacceptable. I mean, their key player is the guy we loaned to them, and he didn't even play. What is this? That's it. I'm done. I retire. I'm gone. Bye. But apart from that, my ass man managed to do something that I've never managed to do in my 8 years at the club. He has managed to go fully unbeaten in the group stage of the Champions League, which you have to commend him for, and I'm definitely not bitter about it. He also won all 4 trophies again, which is also mightily impressive. Right, well, I mean, to be fair, I guess this is a perfect time to actually end the simulation right here, because he has won the same amount of trophies as me, and I don't want anyone bettering my record. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna resign, which will inevitably make him resign with me, and that way he won't win another Champions League trophy. I'm a mad genius. In summary, we leave the club in a very good position. All the key players are signing on for long-term contracts after I leave, and we have a good mix of ages in the squad. Furthermore, for my last deals as a director of football, I brought in a very good-looking attacking fullback by the name of Ticini, who will surely help cement our core for years to come. So, after 11 years at the helm of the club, which included 3 years as director of football, I ended up with 34 trophies, which included 1 UEFA Conference League win, 6 Champions League trophies, 4 UEFA Super Cup wins, 12 League and 11 Cup wins. And this somehow only makes me the 4th best manager in the world behind Ancelotti, Sir Alex, and Sir Pep Guardiola. I mean, surely by this time he has been knighted, right? So, what do you guys think? How successful was my stint at Partizan? And am I a better coach or am I a better director of football? Leave a prediction about how many league titles and how many more Champions League trophies we will win. I think in terms of league titles, we will win every single one. But in terms of Champions League, that number will be a very round number. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and if you did, leave a like and a comment, and also a cheeky subscribe, and I promise the next video will not take 200 years to make. Just FYI, in case you're interested, I finished writing this episode on the 8th of November. So, yeah, let's see when this gets released. Bye, guys.